First off, I'd like to thank one of my viewers, Jack Stone, friend in real life. Got me this shirt for $3 from a Goodwill store. A little bit of a throwback, but it's a cool shirt nonetheless. So welcome into the Game 10 review of the game against the Philadelphia Flyers, where the Bruins would shut them out 3-0. Two things to discuss. Jeremy Lauzon in his NHL debut tonight, because Urho Vakanainen is out because he got elbowed in the face by Mark Borowiecki of the Ottawa Senators in the last game. And Borowiecki got a 1-game suspension, which I think is pointless. You're just basically giving him a night off for elbowing a guy in the face. No harsh penalty there, kind of stupid, and I'm not happy with that. I really don't think a suspension in the NHL is really worthy unless, you give them 3 games minimum. What's the point? Besides that, you're just giving them a little rest. You're not punishing them. One thing that I also found interesting about the lineup tonight was that Ryan Donato is still on the 4th line, but on the first power play unit, which I don't think you see too many players around the league on the 4th line, also on the first power play unit. It seems kind of weird to me, and I think that it's kind of interesting to put him on the 4th line when he could be getting quality minutes in the AHL if he's not quite ready for a top 6 or even a top 9 role here in Boston. But he looked good tonight doing it nonetheless, so might as well use him where he's working at. He's working good on that 4th line, I guess. So the first period gets underway, and the first thing I notice is that there's a ton of empty seats in the lower levels, in the loge as they call it. And I was actually thinking about buying tickets for this game, but they were kind of overpriced for down there in the loge for a Thursday night game, which I think the ticket prices for most Bruins games are fairly overpriced. But yeah, just a lot of empty seats, and you hate to see that for a hockey team this good. They should never have empty seats, ever. This period was pretty boring, to say the least. Both teams have 7 shots. Both teams have a power play each. Both don't score. 0 goals in this period. And there was just a lot of lack of zone time for either team on every possession. They were struggling to keep it in the zone and keep their offenses going. So not many great chances were in the first period. One thing to note, though, is that Jeremy Lauzon looked solid in his first period, making smart decisions with the puck, making good defensive plays, just looking like he fits. And that's all you want from a third-pairing defenseman, especially one in his first ever NHL game. You then move on to the early parts of the second. The game's still kind of dead, but you got a few more chances, like Heinen and Krejci on a 2-on-1. Heinen should have passed it over, but he decided to shoot. I feel like the pass would have been a much better option here because Krejci probably could have put it into the net. And Krejci's been very good lately, so I think he would have because he's got it going. Ryan Donato would hit the post at about 6-7 minutes into the period. Ryan Donato would hit 2 posts tonight. Okay, about midway through the third, Matt Grzelcyk's behind the net, and he goes to shoot the puck up the boards or pass it up the ice, and his stick explodes into 2 pieces. Now I'm talking everywhere. One part goes behind him and the other part goes 20 feet in front of him. It was an insane explosion. This then leads to Philadelphia's first good consistent shift of the game, where they get some good shots on Halak, specifically Drew coming in basically on not a breakaway, but he's got a gap where it's just him against Halak, and Halak stones him. Halak a little after this would also stop a Drew one-timer, which this was an insane save. Full spread eagle, gets his right arm on it. Filthy save by Halak here. Tuukka's going to lose a lot of starts at the rate this one's going. Midway through the second period, Andrew McDonald with the puck down low in his own zone, being pressured by Danton Heinen. Danton Heinen forces a turnover, skates up the boards, gives a little backhand pass to Chara. Chara shoots, and he scores. Big man, big stick, big plays. Classic Zdeno Chara clap bomb from the point. It looks like the puck hit a Flyers stick or something, but it doesn't matter. It's still a 1-0 lead for the Boston Bruins midway through the second. One thing you gotta note is the big man Selly. He was like, bang, bang, bang. And that's just, oh my god, you don't see Chara celebrate hardly ever. And to see him So the Flyers, in the second period still, would take a too many men on the ice penalty. This is about 4 minutes after the Chara goal. Krejci and DeBrusk work their magic. The 2 line mates play a lot together. They have good chemistry. And they're kind of on the right side of the net, passing with each other, skating around a little, trying to get open. And eventually Jake DeBrusk passes to Krejci, skates backwards towards the net, and gets left alone in front of the net. David Krejci recognizes it immediately, gives him a nice hot saucer to the middle. Jake DeBrusk tips it in, and the Bruins go up 2-0. Jake DeBrusk would go on to describe this goal in his post-game interview, still in helmet and full gear, saying that was a greasy goal. And indeed, it was pretty greasy, and the Flyers defenseman, I don't know what he was doing, but he left him all alone. Very stupid not to try to close off the gap. He just, I don't know, he must have been out of it or something, because that's key penalty killing, to make sure you're taking off and cutting off passing lanes. And to let one happen right in front of you, in front of your own net like that, pretty bad. But Jake DeBrusk doesn't care, and he puts it in, and the Bruins go up 2-0. So the Bruins go into the second intermission up 2-0, and they would need to close them down in the third period. And the Bruins would shut down the Flyers, but this period was kind of weird and chaotic. And not really chaotic in play, but more in between the whistles with all the scrums and fights and stuff that happened in this period. You had Kampfer lay a big stand-up hit along the boards on Scott Laughton. Scott Laughton didn't like it. He gave Kampfer a stare down like he wanted to fight. Kampfer assumed he was going to, so he started punching him in the face. Issue there is Laughton never took off his gloves, so basically Steven Kampfer's just roughing him and punching him in the face. I'm pretty sure, I didn't look at the box score, but I'm pretty sure Kampfer got a double minor here, and the only reason we didn't have to serve all 4 minutes is because Wayne Simmonds jumped on him at the end and tried to get him off of Laughton, and they consider Wayne Simmonds roughing. Scott Laughton honestly should have dropped the gloves here, but he didn't have the fight in him, just like the Flyers all night, just no fight. On the Philadelphia power play, Voracek would hit the post, but then at the end of the power play, with 5 seconds left, Charlo would take a tripping minor. So you got a 5-on-3 for about 5 seconds. The Bruins would kill it off, and a little later on in the period, one thing that you love to see, and one player who's been having a fantastic start this season, is Brandon Carlo. Now, people have been hard on him in the past, and I was kind of telling people at the end of last year before he got injured, he is starting to play good hockey. He got injured, he came back this year, and he's playing even better hockey. He's been a solid top 4 defenseman. He's been easily our best defenseman so far this year. One thing that happened late in this period was Couturier was in front of the net, and Carlo just started shoving him like that, pushing him back, not in the face, but in the chest, like right up here, pushing him back, being aggressive, protecting his goalie, and you love to see the progression of Brandon Carlo and the physicality coming along with it. Konechny would take a tripping penalty. On this power play, another weird situation would happen where Jake DeBrusk was fighting with Andrew McDonald in front of the net. Andrew McDonald slashes him, pushes him, knocks him down. Jake DeBrusk gets up. He's not happy. He's in front of the net battling for position on the power play, and he cross-checks Andrew McDonald. Kind of dumb by Jake here, but I understand why he retaliated. But Jake DeBrusk would go to the box for 2 minutes. So when it appeared the Bruins were going to be going to 4-on-4 against the Flyers for a penalty against them, it actually turns to a 5-on-3 for the Bruins. The Flyers, however, did get a penalty. Andrew McDonald, even though at first it did not appear he was going to get a penalty, was penalized for the slash on Jake DeBrusk. And after the whistle, Scott Laughton decided to get back at Kampfer and DeBrusk, and he got a 10-minute misconduct and a 2-minute penalty that was served by Oscar Lindbaum. One thing that happened was Brian Elliott freezed the puck, and Ryan Donato pushed him into the net, and Robert Haig decided to try to kill Ryan Donato. Luckily, the refs got in between, and no penalties were assessed in this action. So the Bruins, on a 5-on-3 for 27 seconds, it would then turn out to a 5-on-3 for basically 2 whole minutes, because Oscar Lindbaum, as he's getting out of the box, feet still in the box, plays the puck with his stick, and you rarely see it called, and you rarely see it happen to be called. He gets penalized because you are not allowed to play the puck from outside of the ice surface, like how he's in the penalty box and trying to play the puck. So he goes to the box, and the Bruins are still on the 5-on-3. Eventually, the Flyers would survive to make it a 5-on-4, but Chara, with the time winding down in the third period, would dump a 200-yard huge Hail Mary shot into the net to make the Bruins go up 3-0, sealing the game, empty netter. Flyers got aggressive, tried to pull their goalie, even though they were down a man. Props to you guys for trying, but you had no chance. You guys had no heart, and you guys were not going to beat the Bruins playing like this tonight. Bruins advanced to 6-2-2 on the year, and the Flyers dropped to 4-6. A few things to look at. Halak with his second shutout of the year. 26 saves on 26 shots. Some quality saves in there. Not a whole lot of work for the guy. Not a whole lot of quality chances, but you got to save what's put at you, and he saved all of it. Time on ice leader for the Bruins tonight, Marchand with over 24 minutes, which is a ton for a forward. Pasta fell short of 20 minutes by 1 second. He played 19:59, but basically all of the first line, Bergeron, Pastrnak, and Marchand all played over 20 minutes, which is a lot for your 3 leading forwards, but that first line is relied upon so heavily that you understand. Even though they played all these minutes, though, the Bruins' first line did not get a single point tonight, which I think is the first time that's happened all year except for Game 1 versus the Capitals where they got shut out. This is their first win where Bergeron, Marchand, or Pastrnak have not got a point. And me, someone who's complaining about depth scoring, loves to see a win like this where you are not relying on your 3 stars to get it done. No, the Bruins offense didn't look good tonight. No, there weren't highlight goals, but they grinded out the victory. They played a great team defense because Bruce Cassidy coaches a team that plays good, hard defense, and they pull out the 3-0 victory. This, by far, was probably the least entertaining game to watch out of all the games this season. But you have to win the pretty ones, and you have to win the non-pretty ones. The Bruins won an ugly one tonight. And overall, a good 3-0 victory by the boys in black and gold tonight. And who doesn't love beating Philadelphia? Come on. Don't we hate them? I hate Philadelphia. Hate all Philadelphia teams. They annoy the crap out of me. So that's all I have time for you today. The Bruins take on everyone's least favorite Canadian team Saturday night. The Montreal Canadiens, our most hated rivalry. I think Toronto is getting close, but the history between Montreal, you just hate them. Hate them. Doesn't matter who plays for them, you just hate them. So looking forward to that game on Saturday night. I'll probably watch the World Series and that simultaneously. I'll find a way, and I'll get the review out to you at a reasonable time, maybe Sunday morning, maybe Saturday night. We'll see how it goes. But I'll see you next time. Hit the like button if you like the video. Comment. Please comment. I like the interaction. And subscribe to follow my Bruins coverage. I've been Pat Tar, and I will see you next time.